5 branches of educational psychology. The field of educational psychology bloomed from the perspective and theories drawn from research and practice. Just as a tree grows branches, the field of educational psychology has distinct branches that approach learning differently. Although each branch or perspective is separate, they all have a common thread of addressing knowledge and understanding. Today, we will discuss 5 branches of educational psychology: behavioral, cognitive, developmental, social cognitive, and constructivist. Behaviorism is the theoretical perspective in which learning and behavior are described and explained in terms of stimulus-response relationships. The key assumptions of behaviorism are: 1. The environment influences behavior. Behaviorists believe that people's behaviors are a result of their interaction with the environment. Specifically, people become conditioned or molded to respond in certain ways based on responses like feedback, praise, and rewards. Learning is described through stimuli and responses. Behaviorists focus on observable events rather than events that occur inside a person's head, such as thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. Assumption number 3, learning must involve a behavioral change. Theorists believe that learning has not occurred unless an observable change in behavior is observed. Assumption 4, learning must occur when stimulus and response occur close together in time. Learners must associate their response with a stimulus, and in order for that to occur, the two must happen in conjunction with each other, or in other words, be contiguous. And finally, animals and humans learn in similar ways. Behaviorists, unlike many other theorists, perform their experiments using animals because they believe the study of animals could explain human learning behavior. The major behaviorists you should be familiar with include John Watson, known as the father of behaviorism, Ivan Pavlov, best known for classical conditioning, B.F. Skinner, known for operant conditioning, and Edward Thorndike, known for the law of effect. The next perspective of educational psychology is the cognitive perspective. Cognitive psychology is the theoretical perspective that focuses on learning based on how people perceive, remember, think, speak, and problem solve. The cognitive perspective differs from the behaviorist perspective in 2 distinct ways. First, cognitive psychology acknowledges the existence of internal mental states, disregarded by behaviorists. Examples of these states are belief, desire, ideas, motivation, so non-observable states. And second, cognitive psychologists claim memory structures determine how information is perceived, processed, stored, retrieved, and forgotten. Cognitive psychology encompasses perception, categorization, memory, knowledge representation, language, and thinking processes. The major cognitive psychologists you should be familiar with include Jean Piaget, who developed Piaget's theory of cognitive development and stages of cognitive development, Lev Vygotsky, best known for his sociocultural development theory, Noam Chomsky, referred to as the father of modern linguistics, and Jerome Bruner, who coined the term scaffolding. Our next perspective is the developmental perspective. Developmental psychology is the perspective that studies change that occurs in learners over the course of a long period of time. The development perspective encompasses theories that are continuous and discontinuous in nature. Discontinuous theories are stage-like. The process of learning and development involve distinct stages which are characterized by qualitative differences in behavior. Theorists who posit discontinuous theories propose a specific beginning and end period for each stage. Continuous theories, in contrast, explain that learning and development occur in incremental processes. Learning involves gradual and ongoing changes throughout the lifespan. The major developmental theorists you should be familiar with include some of the theorists we have discussed, such as Piaget, but also include Erik Erikson, who proposed the stages of psychosocial development, Lawrence Kohlberg, best known for his stages of moral development, and James Marcia, known for the theory of identity achievement. Our fourth perspective is the social cognitive perspective. Social cognitive psychology is the perspective in which learning by observing others is the focus of study. Key assumptions of social cognitive perspective are, first, that learning occurs through observation. Social cognitives believe learning can occur by simply observing the behavior of others. Second, learning is an internal process which may or may not lead to a behavioral change. Specifically, theorists conclude that learning may occur without the behavior being displayed immediately or even ever. Our third assumption states behavior is directed toward a particular goal. Social cognitives believe learners set goals and direct their behaviors toward meeting those goals. Fourth, behavior eventually becomes self-regulated. And finally, observing punishment and rewards can indirectly impact the behavior of the observer. The major social cognitive psychologist you should be familiar with is Albert Bandura, who is known for his social learning theory. Our final perspective is the constructivist perspective. Constructivism is the perspective that proposes the idea that the learner constructs, rather than absorbs, knowledge from their experiences. According to the constructivism perspective, the learner is self-directed, creative, and innovative. The learner is encouraged to learn truths about the environment and the world by arriving at conclusions based on his or her background, culture, or worldview. The responsibility of learning falls primarily on the learner, while the teacher's role is that of a facilitator. And finally, collaborative learning is also a key component of this perspective. The major constructivist psychologists you should be familiar with are John Dewey, Maria Montessori, best known for her philosophy of education in schools, David Kolb, known for experiential learning, and Ernst von Glaserfeld, known for his model of radical constructivism. In conclusion, the field of educational psychology, like a tree, consists of many branches we call perspectives. Each perspective has a different definition and is based on different guiding principles and assumptions. But all perspectives look at how people learn, retain, and use knowledge.